Harry, it's been a while since we've had the opportunity to talk. I say you look great. I know you don't you think I'm lying, but I just think you look great.
I know I've said this to you before, and I say it that I hate to see myself on the computer now. I used to be a good-looking guy. I never took advantage of it, but there was I don't know how to explain this. That people were talking about what I did in my memory act, and one of the things I started to explain was my card demonstration, which if you ever want me to explain, I will. The point is, I had a special blackboard that a guy would shuffle half the deck and hand the cards to Renee, who worked with me for 20 years, and she put them on this blackboard. Well, I was trying to explain the blackboard, and then I realized I had a picture of it in one of my books. So I have, they're all blending in my mind. I finally found it, and there is a publicity shot of me and Renee, and in the background is part of that board. That was the whole point, so that people get with cards in it, giant cards. So I sent it to Steve Cohen and another friend of mine, and Steve Cohen was married to a beautiful Japanese woman, said her name is Yumi. He said, Yumi looked at that picture, and she said, they're two movie stars. When she was looking at me and Renee, because we were good-looking people, but that's a long time ago.
Well, speaking of
I forgot why I'm telling you this whole story.
Well, speaking of movie stars, I mean, you really did look like movie stars back then, and you hung around with movie stars and Bancroft, Mel Brooks, all these folks. And when I was reading before I forget early this morning, just in preparation for us talking, and I was reading something in there, an anecdote, or you title it "Acting Lesson." And you talk about Anne Bancroft being one of the best actresses. I got to watch a little clip, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, of her acting in a movie called Malice. Yeah. Very intense actress. I mean, she is really, really good. But you helped her in many ways with remembering lines, and that's what this acting lesson is about. You want to talk about that? That's interesting to me.
Well, you're talking about acting lesson. Can I read this letter to you, or try to?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Please.
All right. You're going to have to bear with me here. My one good eye is not working that good. Okay, it's dated September 5th, 1969. That's what, over 50 years ago. Okay, dear Harry, my most recent play would not have opened had not your memory systems made it possible for me to memorize and almost impossible to memorize script. Not only did it make an impossible task possible, but it made what is usually a drudgery part of the creative art. I would never have believed that memorizing lines could be as exciting and stimulating and as much fun as the acting itself. And in my travels, I find that learning foreign words and phrases is a snap because of your systems. You are a miracle worker, Anne Bancroft.
Wow, that is incredible. What a letter.
And I just got very emotional. Jesus, oh God.
Yeah.
I have this hanging on my wall for 50 years.
Wow. Gosh. Well, in here, and I understand you getting emotional. I know she was a good friend, and you've unfortunately had to see a lot of people go. I mean, leave this earth. Even Carl Reiner, you're a good friend there. My condolences to you. I know you lost a good friend here in him recently as he passed away. And you see how difficult that must be as you grow older. It's like the blessing and the curse of being old as you are. You're losing a lot of people that you love, including Annie here.
These things, unfortunately, they're expected. I mean, Carl Reiner was 98, and Rich and Howie Schwartzman has been ill for a couple of years, so like I say, that doesn't make it any easier, but it was expected.
Right. So with Anne, some of the ways you would help her memorize her lines I thought were interesting. I don't know if you remember some of the examples, but there was something, there was a show that she had to do, and I guess the director was kind of a stickler for getting the words exactly correctly. And then the line was, whether the soldiers cross the bridge. She was saying, if the soldiers cross the bridge. It's the same bloody bloody thing. But
And what was the line when they to cross the bridge?
so what she was supposed to say is whether the
Whether.
soldiers cross the bridge. But
I remember that.
remember?
I said, yeah, very simple. I said, see it in the snowstorm, of course. Bad weather. That's what I told her. Isn't that funny? They come to mind. But she said what you just said, that she was saying when they cross, which meant the same thing.
Sure.
She said, but I keep forgetting the word weather. I said, just see bad weather when they're crossing the bridge. That's it. Just visualize it. You got it. And that she said, that did.
It really did. But and it wasn't just with her memorizing lines that you helped her with. There's actually, as I mentioned earlier, a movie called Malice. Alec Baldwin and Bancroft is in there, Nicole Kidman, and you actually teach her how to do some she does a really great shuffle, so I don't know if you taught her that, but she does a couple of little fancy cutting of the cards, and then she does a trick for the actor Bill Pullman. Now, it's been a while since you've probably seen this film. It's about
Oh, God, yes. Right. I don't remember. I remember teaching her. She said she had to do it. That was part of the script, to show her talent, with the deck of cards. But I didn't remember that you just mentioned before teaching her the swivel cut. I didn't remember exactly what I had taught her. I thought maybe I taught her, the one-hand thing. But I'd love to see it.
Okay, well, I'm going to show you this great clip. It's probably been a while since you've seen Anne acting.
Yes.
So I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to let the folks watch this on their screen. So here it comes.
I'm older and I'm smarter. You can learn something from me.
I know she's been here.
Andy. Is it Andy?
Yeah.
Andy. It's a simple trick.
The statue.
What?
This. That they got.
No. About it.
It was in my house. It was Tracy's. So I know she's been here.
Andy, believe me. You need to see the trick.
Do you get that I'm serious?
I got it. Pick a card. Look at it. Put it back in the deck. Shuffle the deck.
Excuse me, I don't
You're
want
not calling Mom.
I don't think so.
Shuffle the cards. Shuffle them good. Bill and me used to give Tracy a little bit of the money each week. So you could buy candy or liquor. Shuffle the cards. She wouldn't spend it, though. Not a penny. Each week, she put it under the mattress. Well, I think that kid had maybe $200 under the mattress.
No.
There's something else about Tracy. I don't think it bothered her a bit when her father cleaned out the bank accounts and disappeared. I think it bothered her when he took the $200 from under the mattress.
Jesus, what the hell kind of family is this?
You bet me a double C.
What?
$200. You want to give me $200? I know what your card is. I give you $200. I don't.
No.
Because once money's involved, you take me seriously, right?
Look, you said there was a point here, and I
Why do
think...
you give a Frenchman's who she was sleeping with? Get her to the game. Go for the $20 million yourself.
You saying that Tracy set this up?
What the hell have I been telling you? My fucking my shadow? You think he's Sherlock Holmes with this statue? You can buy him in any department store for $89.95. Looks just like the real thing.
The whole thing was a setup? You're crazy.
Yeah? And how come I have the jack of clubs in my fucking pocket?
Oh, jeez. There it is.
Look, kid.
God, I had forgotten that, Rudy. Gee, she sure did the swivel cut enough times. Right?
Yeah. but you taught her well. She's not even really thinking about it.
Right.
So you really taught her.
Right.
So then, how the heck did she get the jack of clubs in her pocket? Was that just movie magic?
Yeah, of course.
But you taught her well. She really managed. She's holding the cards right, and that overhand kind of like a fiddle thing.
Oh yeah, without looking, as you say. No, she did it. She was a good learner. Let's face it. She's a very smart lady.
Yeah.
We got along. God, we spent so much time together. She and me and Renee and Mel, of course. Boy,
Yeah. Well, how does it feel to see her after all these years? It's probably
very nostalgic.
right. Well, she gave you some acting lessons. She said you were one of the in her mind, you were really a natural actor. And there's a story in the book. I think we talked about it before, where she and you she told you, hey, let's act like there's some funny business going on between you and I, to give Renee and Mel the impression that you guys were having a fun.
I think I know what you're talking about. There was a thing. We were at a beach. I forget where, somewhere in Europe, I think.
Yeah.
Because we always traveled together for 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we always had two rooms next to each other. And Annie and I were on the beach, but Mel and Renee were not. So me and Annie, she started it. We were kidding around. Hey, I wonder what the hell they're doing. Where are they? So she said, look, let's do something. When they come down, let's act as if we think they're having an affair. And she started to teach me how to act. Okay, so now we waited a while, and after a while, Renee still didn't come down, but Mel did. And he came down, and as he walked over, what happened? See, this comes to mind very clearly. After she had taught me all these lessons on how to act, he came down and he said, sorry, I had a business phone call. And I said, yeah, sure. And she got hysterical. Which loused up the whole thing. Afterwards, she said, that was the best piece of acting I ever saw.